What's up? Joe Palgizzo here, fresh off the boat from the Monsters of Rock cruise and just back from the UK. Here I am back in the Camaro, and guess what? It's 2024. Singers don't have to be dicks anymore. So I recently finished up doing the Monsters of Rock cruise, and I got a rare opportunity to see other bands in action. Some good, some great. Some used tracks, some used no tracks, some should have used tracks. All were there. A baker's dozen, a plethora of A chords and low-hung Les Pauls. It was a rare opportunity because, as I said, as a touring/traveling musician, I don't usually get to see much of the other bands I play with. Oh, maybe a bit of sound check, maybe a song or two when they start, but then I have to dash off to the hotel for a few hours sleep to do it all again the next morning. That's the life. I'm certainly not alone in all this. All us bands that do fly-out shows have to do the same thing. You know, we connect at sound check, maybe we can have lunch at the old Indian casino, but that's it. So the chance of actually staying and seeing some of my favorite bands play was an interesting change of pace indeed. Which leads me to my topic. Singers don't have to be dicks anymore. Maybe in the distant past, we thought we had to. Back then, we were all in competition with each other. Who's getting more radio play? Who's getting more MTV play? All of us vying for that coveted opening slot on that major tour. But that was then. Now, there's no old school radio. There's no MTV. And the days of the long-ass tours on the rock buses are mostly over. So there's now no need for that weird attitude. The rivalries now are friendly. They're not hostile. We lead singers can, in the words of Rodney King, get along. It's 2024. We can lighten up. Queensryche was on the boat with us, and I finally got to see their whole set. Finally! I've done many shows with these guys over the years. They're a great band, and I count their singer, Todd LaTorre, as a good friend. He has a hard job, like me. Those songs aren't easy, man. So as singers, I guess we connect on that level. Two guys having to do the vocal decathlon for 75 or 90 minutes every night. Can't falter. Can't have a bad night. All eyes and ears watching. Phones recording. The reality of 2024 is the absolute certainty that every time you get up on stage, professionally, casually, even at some impromptu jam, you're going to be recorded, scrutinized, microscopically dissected, judged against your predecessor. So singers today don't have to be weird to each other, man. We can just talk shop. What do you do to warm up? How are you on your second night or your third? You know, Todd likes to eat an hour or two before he plays. I'm different. I like to eat at least 6 hours before I play. I like to sing on a completely empty stomach. But you know what? Everybody's different. We all have different routines before the show, different ways that we get into the zone. Whatever it takes, man, short of chanting Hare Krishna, whatever it takes to get up there and take command of that stage, that's all that matters. I'd never seen them before, so when I did see them on the boat, I was struck by how good Tim the Ripper Owens' vocals were. Some singers get weaker as time goes by, but the Ripper only seems to get stronger. You know, I toured with him when he played with the Dio Disciples on that Dio hologram tour back in 2019. And in my humble opinion, the Priest material seems to suit him better. I mean, he seemed much happier on stage. So we had breakfast the next morning on the boat after his show, and we talked a little singer shop. You know, he had seen us the day before perform on the pool stage in that sub-Saharan heat. And he made a comment that actually gave me the idea for this episode. He said, you know, I never get to see bands. I finally get to see bands. And he's right. Even when you tour with bands, you never really get to watch their entire set because you're consumed with your own band's schedule and the need to grab a few hours sleep. The cruise afforded us a whole different situation. We're all stuck on the boat. There's really nothing to do on these cruises other than see bands and get fat at the buffet. "Man, how did you hit all those high notes in that heat?" he asked. "Carefully," I said, "very carefully. It was fucking hot." I didn't say anything up on stage, but it was a struggle, okay? You really have to measure out your energy when that hot Caribbean sun is beating down on you. You have to sing all the songs, but you also have to retain enough gas in your tank for those last two songs, the hits, the ones that are always going to be recorded. The trick, like any trick, is to make it look easy. I complimented the Ripper on his vocal tone and also his technique. It's nice when you see your friends excel. It's nice to see people that give a shit about the crazy hard discipline of being a singer at this level. Robert Mason of Warrant does a great job. Phil Lewis is slugging it out with LA Guns, and he's sounding better than ever. My buddy Jason McMaster from Dangerous Toys still screams like a banshee. As singers, we can either take on the discipline of always striving for excellence when we play, or we can slowly fall down that slippery slope and phone it in. Not caring. Let the track sing the hard parts. I never want to be that guy, man. I never want to not care about my performance. At the end of the day, it's all we really have control of in this so-called music business. That's why I do these artist singing videos. They're not really music lessons because I'm not a music teacher. Maybe I'm more of a life coach. I teach people that the only way to survive in this business is to give a shit about the business. Hustle it, persevere. Don't rely on others doing for you. Learn to do yourself. Even when everyone around you tells you you can't succeed, even when people tell you that you're not good enough, the beauty of doing music is that you always have the capacity to get better. All it takes is hard work. There's a lot of people out there that have a natural singing talent, but they'll never really achieve anything resembling fame or making a living because they don't have the capacity for personal sacrifice and commitment to the art, to the task. It doesn't matter if you're the cutest singer in town. No one's going to hand you a career for having the tightest ass. For you guys on the boat, it was a vacation. But for me, it was a gig. All those people paid thousands of dollars to get their rock on. And that means you can't suck, okay? You can't suck. You can't party too hard the night before. You can't stay up all night and sound like shit the next day on that hot pool stage, bloated and out of gas, making excuses. "Oh man, it's not a big deal." It is a big deal. It is. It's what separates the Todds and the Rippers from the local regular guys. That's why they're better than you, man, because they give a shit. And me, let's not forget your old pal Jizzo. Boom! Like the Faith No More song says, man, we care a lot. It's your old pal Jizzo, rockin' and rollin', and we'll see you next time.